guys, and welcome to day 15 of our 365 Days of Courage, where we try to encourage one another with God's words in the Bible, looking for Bible verses where it says, "Take courage, do not be afraid, or fear not." So, our Bible verse for today is taken from Genesis 50, verse 19, where it says there, "But Joseph said to them, 'Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God?'" Now, remember, Joseph was hated by his brothers and ibinenta siya. Actually, they planned to kill him. And then later on, nagbago yung isip and they sold him. Pinagkapirahan siya. Why was he hated? Because he shared his dreams with his brothers. And of course, let us take note of the situation of their relationships, yung kung paano sila naging magkakapatid, iba-iba ang kanilang mga nanay. And Joseph is the favorite of his father because he was the child of his old age. Ibig sabihin, matanda na si Jacob, matanda na yung tatay nung ipinanganak itong si Joseph. And dreaming of having a child at an old age is dream come true. And so therefore, his father cherished him as his treasured son. Of course, yung mga ganyang senaryo, nag-spark up yan ng jealousy sa magkakapatid. Dito sa kwento ng buhay ni Joseph na to, yung pagsiselos ng kanyang mga kapatid went to the extremes, to the extent na binalak siyang patayin. And later on, he was sold. So, pinagkapirahan siya. Now, what happened? We all know the story. There was famine all over the land. Joseph is already in Egypt. Siya yung naging governor and is in charge dun sa distribution ng ayuda. Ayan, ayuda. And syempre yung kanyang mga kapatid was forced to go to Egypt to buy food for their family, and hindi nila nakilala si Joseph, di ba? Wala yung lukso ng dugo. Why? Kasi nga, in the first place, he was hated by his brothers. So, kahit nakasalamuhan na nila yung kanilang kapatid, wala yung feeling ng excitement na kadugo ko siguro to or what. And they all thought that Joseph is dead. Now, it was a happy ending for Joseph and his brothers, and he was able to be reunited with his father and his younger brother, si Benjamin. And syempre yung kanyang mga kapatid was terrified. Natakot sila. Why? Imagine kung ganun ang ginawa mo sa kapatid mo. It turned out that your brother became successful, and then ikaw, nangailangan ka without knowing na yung kapatid mo pala yan, that you hated so much. And that and of course, yung mga kapatid ni Joseph yung parang naging cause ng misery sa buhay ni Joseph. And it was so good that God was with Joseph. Why? He never harbored any evil thoughts toward his brothers. Actually, noong natakot pa nga itong mga kapatid niya because yung ginawa nila, di ba? It is natural for us na magalit tayo, magtampo tayo, and we vow to take revenge because humans nga, di ba? Yun nga sinasabi ko, that it was good that God was with Joseph, na kung saan hindi man lang niya inisip na paghigantihan yung kanyang mga kapatid. And so, yan yung turning point ng ating kwento na kung saan pumunta siya sa happy ending. The brothers were apologetic, they were terrified because they expected that they will receive punishment from Joseph for what they did to him. But in turn, sabi ni Joseph, "Huwag kayong matakot sa akin. Do not be afraid. Bakit? Ako ba yung Diyos?" Ibig sabihin, despite his success, Joseph never claimed the glory all to himself. Diba? He was so successful. Of course, may mga pinagdaanan pa siyang trials. Yung wife ni Potiphar, kursunada siya, hindi nagtagumpay, and inakusahan siya that he tried to rape itong asawa ni Potiphar. And yung mga naging pangyayari sa kanyang buhay are actually yun yung mga naging dahilan kung paano siya naging successful din. So he was imprisoned, he met the butler, he met yung mga tauhan ng hari, he interpreted their dreams, including the dreams of the king, and that was what propelled him to that position of power. But he never used his power against his brothers. Instead, sabi niya, don't be afraid. Am I God? Am I in the place of God? He did not claim all the glory for himself despite itong kanyang position. He is a man of power in Egypt. Ibig sabihin, he saw the wisdom of God dun sa kanyang mga napagdaanan. He saw his role in the salvation of the Israelites during the time of famine. And he was able to carry out his role and even saved his family from hunger during this famine. He understood his role na ganun ang mangyayari sa buhay niya so that someday he will be in that certain position wherein he can be able to help his countrymen, including his family, dyan sa hirap na yan na pinagdadaanan. Because famine was all over the lands. Walang exempted dyan. And because he was so wise, yung king made him the governor. Siya yung nagplano kung ano yung gagawin because through the dreams na ininterpret niya with the help of God, doon niya nabasa na magkakaroon ng famine, and so he thought in advance. Advance mag-isip. Tama naman yun eh. He thought in advance and acted in advance. Kaya nung dumating yung famine na yun, yung scenario na yun, na siya mismo yung nakakita, siya mismo yung naka-interpret. O, diba? At least he was already in place. And so, itong mga naging tagumpay niya, hindi niya inangkin. He deflected it to God. Deflected, ibig sabihin, yung mga papuri sa kanya, he pointed to God na ang Diyos dapat ang i-glorify dyan sa mga pangyayaring yan. And therefore, it leads me now to the gospel for today, which is taken from the Gospel of John 17 verse 4. Anong sabi ni Panginoong Jesus dito? I glorified you, speaking to his Father, I glorified you on earth by accomplishing the work that you gave me to do. Ibig sabihin, Jesus, as the Messiah, did not also claim all the glory for himself. Anong ginawa niya? He gave all the glory to God. Why? Because he was just given a task. He was given one role, and what is that? The salvation of mankind. And when he accomplished that role, sabi niya, you may now be glorified. And of course, in turn, you will also glorify me. Now, naranasan nyo na ba na bigyan kayo ng task, bigyan kayo ng assignment, bigyan kayo ng trabaho, bigyan kayo ng gagawin? Ayaw na ayaw nating nauutusan, di ba? That's normal. Sa bahay nga eh, uutusan ka maghugas, tapos padabog ka pang naghuhugas, tapos nakaganon pa yung nguso mo. Diba? Ang pangit. Tapos minsan hindi pa malinis yung hinugasan mo dahil nagmadali ka. So ngayon, if you're given a task, ano bang sabi ng Panginoon sa atin? Work as if you're working for God and not for men. Ibig sabihin, kapag binigyan ka ng isang trabaho or isang task or isang job, do it well and do it out of love. Love for whom? The one who gave it to you. Yung boss ko na masungit, gagawin ko para sa kanya out of love? Hello. Of course, that is a natural reaction, di ba? That is a natural reaction kasi humans nga tayo. And we have our own ego to feed. And so usually, gagawin ko yan para sa kanya. Gagawin ko to para sa bayad ko. So, ilan ba sa atin ang ginagawa yung mga task natin out of love dun sa nagbigay sa atin ng task? Malamang 90% will say not for him but for the pay. And the 10% will say, oh well, wala na akong ibang gagawin eh. So, now, sabi ng Panginoon, you work as if you're working for God and not for men. Ibig sabihin, gawin mo ng maayos yung trabahong pinagawa sa'yo. Gawin mo ng maayos, hindi lang maayos, galingan mo pa. Ibigay mo yung lahat mo. Now, usually, kapag aspiring ka for promotion, or kapag nagsisimula ka pa lang, nandun din yung gawin ko to para makilala ako. Gawin ko to para ma-recognize ako. Human nature will say, gagawin mo yan para kapag nakita nilang maganda, papalakpakan ka. Why? Because most of the time, we are hungry for applause and acknowledgement. And if we are not acknowledged for what we have done, sasama yung loob natin. You are feeding your ego. Why? After all, yung trabahong ibinigay sa'yo, yung pinaka-source ng utos na yan, na gawin mo ang isang task, is from God and not from the human na nagbigay sa'yo niyan. So if you do your task, tapos maayos yung pagkagawa, tapos hindi ka naman lang pinalakpakan, hindi ka man lang na-acknowledge, hindi ka man lang pinansin, hindi ka man lang pinasalamatan, okay lang yan. Why? Because God, who sees what you did, will reward you. Yun ang sinasabi niya doon. And so therefore, para sa atin, huwag tayong matakot na gawin ang best natin kapag may ibinigay sa atin. And kapag nagawa natin yung ibinigay sa atin na task, we should deflect all the glory to God, being the source of everything. We glorify the one who gave us the task. And so yun yung sinasabi ni Jesus dito. He was already towards the end of his mission. And that was what he was saying. I give you glory. I glorify you with the task that you have given me. I am now about to complete it. And when I do, may it give you glory. And after that, it will now be the Master, God the Father, who will glorify the Son for accomplishing that task. So kung hindi ka man na-acknowledge dyan sa ginawa mo na yan, okay lang yan. Huwag dapat sumama ang loob mo dyan. Why? Kasi God, who sees what you have done, who sees the effort that you have put into what you have completed, He will reward you accordingly. Pero kung tinamaran mo, kung hindi mo ginalingan at sinabi, okay na siguro to, then God, who sees what you have done, will say, paano niya sasabihin sa'yo na, well done, my faithful servant. So, ano ang mensahe sa atin ngayon? Nung sinabi ni Joseph sa kanyang mga kapatid, do not be afraid. Huwag kayong matakot dahil hindi naman ako ang Diyos. Because the evil that you have planned, God made it turn out for good. Ibig sabihin, natatakot kayo dahil may ginawa kayo sa akin. But then, God, the powerful God that we have, turned it around for the good of everybody. And so therefore, God must be glorified because of that. But let us not be afraid. So, if you're given a task, do not be afraid. Accomplish it well. Finish it well. Ibigay mo yung lahat mo. Ibigay mo yung everything mo. Ibigay mo yung all, yung best mo. And even if you're not appreciated because of that, do not worry. God appreciates what you do. Just like Jesus is glorified by God for the task that He has accomplished here on earth. So huwag ka matakot na gawin ang best mo. Ibigay mo lang. Even if sa nakikita mo is too much po itong hinihingi kasi sa akin go lang. God will give you the materials that you're going to need in order to accomplish that task. Go lang. Ibigay mo lang yung best mo. Huwag kang matakot. At pag nagawa mo yan, you will glorify God who has given you the talent. You will glorify God who has given you the gift. And He will give you more gifts in return. He will reward you accordingly. So, okay ba guys? Thank you once again for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you tomorrow for day 16 of our 365 Days of Courage, where we continue to encourage one another, especially in this time of pandemic and aside from encouraging one another through God's words, I also encourage one another to pray for one another, especially those who are affected so much, those yung mga nawalan. Ipagdasal na rin po natin yung mga namatayan dahil dito sa virus na to. And keep safe, guys, and I hope to see you tomorrow, day 16 of our 365 days of courage. Bye-bye. Love you.